Everyone, so today we are going to learn part 2 of The Sound of Music, the Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. Who does not know this great legend? Everyone has heard about Ustad Bismillah Khan and the instrument which he played, Shehnai. So today we are going to learn about the origination of Shehnai, how it came into being, and how it was taken up to the classical stage. So this chapter throws light on the origin of Shehnai and the life of all-time great Shehnai Vadak Bismillah Khan Ji, the winner of Bharat Ratna, the highest civilian award of India. His dedication, as he was a great devout to music, and his love for India. So let's begin. Think of the Shehnai, and the first thing you will probably imagine is a wedding or a similar occasion or function. The next would probably be Ustad Bismillah Khan, the Shehnai maestro playing the instrument. So let's begin, my dear children. Emperor Aurangzeb banned the playing of a musical instrument called pungi. So before Shehnai came into being, before it was originated, there was an instrument called pungi which was played in royal palace of Aurangzeb. So Emperor Aurangzeb banned the playing of the musical instrument called pungi. So it was played in the royal palaces. When Emperor Aurangzeb came into existence, he banned pungi in the royal residence, for it had a shrill. My dear children, shrill means sharp. Okay, this word means sharp. Unpleasant. Unpleasant means it is unpleasant sound which we don't like. Okay, the sound which is sharp and shrill and which one would not like to hear. So pungi became the generic name, means the common name. As you can see, the meaning has been given over here. Okay, so it is a name given to a class or group as a whole. It is a common name, generic name for reeded noisemakers. Few had thought that it would one day be revived. A barber of a family of professional musicians who means who was reachable to the royal palace, decided to improve the tonal quality of the pungi. He chose a pipe with a natural quality of the pungi that we will study, that is reed. Okay, he chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem that was longer and broader than the pungi. So this is the difference between pungi and Shehnai which you will read. Okay, so what kind of pipe he chose? He chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem, that's called reed, my dear children, and that is used in musical instruments. Okay, that I'll show you at the end of this chapter. That was longer and broader. Okay, so you can see longer and broader than the pungi, and made 7 holes on the body, and made 7 holes like this on the body. Fine. So it was broader and hollow, in which 7 holes were made. Okay, children? Fine. So he chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem that was longer and broader than the pungi, and made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. When he played on it, if you have seen flute, my dear children, you can just imagine flute. Okay, so it's, suppose a pipe, a wooden pipe is taken which is hollow, and then 7 holes are made. Okay, when he played on it, closing and opening some of these holes, soft and melodious sounds were, so it produced soft and melodious sound as compared to Pungi. You can see Shehnai is longer than Pungi, okay, and as it is written here, it produced soft and melodious sound, okay, as compared to Pungi, from which shrilling sound, that is sharp sound which is unpleasant to ears, was produced. He played the instrument before royalty, that is kings, and my dear children, before we were ruled by Britishers, we were ruled by Mughals. Before Britishers came into existence, we were ruled by Mughals, okay, and that's the reason it was called Shah's Chamber. He played the instrument before royalty and everyone was impressed. Why everyone was impressed? Because comparatively it produced very pleasant, soft and melodious sound. The instrument, so different from the Pungi, had to be given a new name. As the story goes, since it was first played in Shah's chambers and was played by a Nai barber, okay, so it was played by a Nai who is called barber in English, the instrument was named the Shehnai. So this instrument, which produced melodious and soft music, came to be known by name Shehnai. Okay, my dear children, I hope this difference is clear to you all. The sound of the Shehnai began to be considered auspicious. Auspicious means which promised to bring good fortune. Okay, so it was considered to be bringing good fortune to everyone. Very auspicious. And for this reason, it is still played in temples and is an indispensable, very important, my dear children, without which a piece of work cannot be done. So very important, indispensable, my dear children. You can just see this word over here, indispensable, component of any North Indian wedding. Okay, so it was considered to be indispensable, very important part of North Indian wedding. In the past, the Shehnai was an instrument found at royal courts. Till recently, it was used only in temples and weddings. Raja, Maharajas, isn't it, in royal palace? But now it was being used in weddings as well. The credit for bringing the instrument onto the classical stage goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan. Okay, so the credit goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan for bringing Shehnai onto the classical stage. So this is one of the very important points which you must keep in mind. Now, as a 5-year-old, Bismillah Khan played Gilli Danda. Okay, this is again one of the games that exist in India and it is now obsolete. Okay, and it is at the verge of extinction as we go. So as a 5-year-old, Bismillah Khan played Gilli Danda near a pond in the ancient state of Dumrao in Bihar. So Dumrao is a small province in Bihar. He would regularly go to the nearby Bihariji temple to sing the Bhojpuri Chaita, at the end of which he would earn a big laddu weighing 1.25 kg. It was given as a reward by the local Maharaja to him. This happened 80 years ago and the little boy has travelled far to earn the highest civilian award in India. Okay, so he got highest civilian award in India. Just see here, highest civilian award, that is the Bharat Ratna. Okay, now born on 21st March 1916, Bismillah belongs to Ustad Bismillah Khan ji belongs to a well-known family of musicians from Bihar. His grandfather Rasul Baks Khan was the Shehnai Nawaz of the Bhojpur King's Court. His father Paigambar Baksh and other paternal ancestors were also great Shehnai players. So he belonged to the family of musician, okay, and so he became a very great musician and also was awarded by the highest civilian award in India, the Bharat Ratna. Now, the young boy took to music early in life. At the age of 3, when he was very young, okay, he took to music. He started learning music at very young age. At the age of 3, when his mother took him to his maternal uncle's house in Benares, which is now known as Varanasi, Bismillah Khan ji was fascinated, was happy watching, captivated, attracted watching his uncles practice the Shehnai. Soon Bismillah started accompanying his uncle Ali Baksh to the Vishnu temple of Benares, where Baksh, his uncle, was employed to play the Shehnai. So all around everywhere he accompanied his uncle, okay, in royal palace or wherever he was employed to play the Shehnai. Ali Baksh would play the Shehnai and Bismillah would sit captivated, attracted. Captivated means attracted, my dear children, okay. So he sat captivated for hours on end. Slowly he started getting lessons in playing the instrument and would sit practicing throughout the day. So he was a very dedicated musician, okay. He sat practicing throughout the day for hours and hours. For years to come, the temple of Balaji and Mangala Maiya and the banks of the Ganga became the young apprentices. Means he was a fresher, okay. He was a trainee and was being trained, okay. Apprentices' favorite haunts. Haunts means place where he could practice in solitude. So his favorite place was near Ganga river, okay. So you can just see over here, for years to come, the temple of Balaji and Mangala Maiya and the banks of Ganga became the young apprentice's favorite haunts, that is place where he could practice in solitude. Solitude means all alone, okay, isolated, fine. So he loved practicing music, Shehnai, near banks of river and temples. The flowing waters of the Ganga inspired him to improvise. To improvise means to improve and invent ragas that were earlier considered to be beyond the range of the Shehnai. How proficient he was! Isn't it? A great legend, even a great patriot, being a devout, isn't it? He played, being a Muslim, he played near the banks, he played Shehnai near the banks of Ganga, Balaji and Mangala Maiya temple. Just imagine, he was a true patriot. He did not hesitate playing on the banks of Ganga. At the age of 14, Bismillah accompanied his uncle to the Allahabad music conference. At the end of the boy's back and at the end of his recital, Ustad Faiz Khan patted, he praised the young boy's back and said, "Work hard and you shall make it." You shall make it means you will be successful. Okay, you will be a great musician one day. With the opening of the All India Radio, In Lucknow in 1938 came Bismillah's big break. So he got his big break, fine, from All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938. He soon became an often heard Shehnai player on radio. When India gained independence on 15 August 1947, Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to greet. Just remember this, okay? He was a great legend, as I told you, and he became the first Indian to greet the nation, okay, with his Shehnai, okay, in Red Fort. So this is one of the important points which you must keep in your mind. He poured his heart, means he dedicated himself to nation with his Shehnai. He poured his heart out into Raag Kafi from the Red Fort to an audience which included Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who later gave his famous speech Tryst with Destiny. Okay, and Bismillah Khan ji was then appreciated by them. Bismillah Khan has given many memorable performances both in India and abroad. His first trip abroad was to Afghanistan, where King Zahir Shah was so taken in by the maestro, was taken in means captivated. Okay, was surprised, was captivated, okay, attracted by the maestro that he gifted him priceless Persian carpets and other souvenirs. Okay, souvenirs are the things given in memory of a place, person or event. Fine. Now the king of Afghanistan was not the only one to be fascinated, amazed with Bismillah's music. Film director Vijay Bhatt was so impressed after hearing Bismillah play at a festival that he named a film after the instrument called Goonj Uthi Shehnai. Okay, so what was the name of this Hindi movie, my dear children? It is Goonj Uthi Shehnai. The film was a hit, and one of Bismillah Khan's compositions, Dil Ka Khilona Hai Toot Gaya, turned out to be a nationwide chartbuster. So this is all about Bismillah Khan. Their biography has been written over here. Okay, so despite this huge success in the celluloid world, celluloid means old-fashioned way of referring to films. Okay, so very old-fashioned, fine, old-fashioned world. Bismillah Khan's ventures in film, okay, his existence in films, okay, to venture means to move, in film music were limited to two, that is Vijay Bhatt's Goonj Uthi Shehnai and Vikram Srinivasa's Kannad venture Sanadhi Apanna. I just cannot come to terms with the artificiality and glamour of the film world. My dear children, this is the real face of great personality. Okay, so he wanted to keep himself aloof from the artificial world, okay, of glamour of the film world. Okay, he was a very down-to-earth legend personality. Okay, words are less to describe him. He says with emphasis, awards and recognition came thick and fast now and then. Okay, Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to be invited to perform at the prestigious Lincoln Center Hall in the United States of America. He also took part in the World Exposition in Montreal, in the Cannes Art Festival, and in Osaka Trade Fair. So well known did he become internationally that an auditorium in Tehran was named after him, Tahar Mosik, Ustad Bismillah Khan. National awards like the Padma Shri, the Padma Vibhushan and the Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan were conferred on him. In 2001, Ustad Bismillah Khan was awarded India's highest civilian award. So as we all know that, okay, awards and recognition came thick and fast to him, now and then, okay. Now, with the coveted award resting on his chest and his eyes glinting with rare happiness, he said, all I would like to say is, teach your children music. So this is the lesson what he gives us. He tells us, okay, this is Hindustani's richest tradition. What is Hindustani's richest tradition? That is music. So he urged everyone, okay, every Indians to teach their children music. Even the West is now coming to learn our music. In spite of having traveled all over the world, Khan Saab, as he is fondly called, is exceedingly fond of Benares and Dumrao, which is in Bihar, a small province as I told you, and they remain for him the most wonderful towns of the world. A student of his once wanted him to head a Shehnai school in the USA, and the student promised to recreate the atmosphere, the ambience of Benares by replicating. Replicating means copying. Okay, this word means copying the temples there in USA. But Khan Saab asked him that would he be able to transport river Ganga as sea? He was a great devout, a true patriot, isn't it, who lives for his nation. Fine. Later he is remembered to have said, that is why whenever I am in a foreign country, I keep yearning, desiring. Yearning means desiring. Fine children, yearning means desiring. So he keep yearning to see Hindustan. While in Mumbai, I think of only Benares and the holy Ganga. And while in Benares, I miss the unique Matha of Dumrao. Isn't it? So he was a great legend, as I told you. Okay. So Ustad Bismillah Khan's life is a perfect example of the rich cultural heritage of India, one that effortlessly accepts that a devout Muslim like him can very naturally play the Shehnai every morning at Kashi Vishwanath temple. You know, music does not know any barriers. Fine. So that's why he's called a devout Muslim. He never hesitated, as I told you, playing Shehnai even in temples. Fine. So Ustad Bismillah Khan passed away on 21 August 2006 at the age of 90 after prolonged illness. He was given a state funeral and the government of India declared one day of national mourning for him. Okay, so that's what. Bismillah belongs to the Benares Gharana. He was, as I told you, born in 1916 at Dumrao in Bihar. So, as a 5-year-old, he used to visit Bihariji temple, sing Bhojpuri Chaita there. For his melodious singing, he used to earn a big laddu, rewards, isn't it? The themes of his music were deeply affected by the sounds of flowing water of the Ganga. So, Bismillah Khan, his original name is Kamaruddin Khan. Fine. And as I told you, born on March 21, 1916, Dumrao, Bihar and Orissa province, British India, died August 21, 2006. Fine. And then again, he played Shehnai, a ceremonial oboe like North Indian horn, with such expressive virtuosity that he became a leading Indian, a great musician, classical music artist. Fine. His name was indelibly linked to, indelibly means lasting, everlasting, with the woodwind instrument called Shehnai. Khan was born into a family of court musicians in Bihar. He was apprenticed to his uncle. He got training. He was a fresher. He got training under his uncle Ali Bakhsh, who played the Shehnai in Vishwanath, a Hindu temple in Varanasi. His concert performance at All India Music Conference in Kolkata in 1937 gained him public respect, and the Shehnai, traditionally used only in ceremonial capacity, came to be seen as a classical music. As I told you, he was the one who brought Shehnai onto the classical stage, isn't it? Khan was a devout Muslim but performed at both Hindu and Muslim ceremonies and was considered a symbol of religious harmony. His fame was such that he was selected to perform for the ceremony at Delhi's historic Red Fort as the Indian flag unfurled at the arms. So, biggest achievement for him of India's independence on August 15, 1947. His music was played on television every Independence Day. In 2001, Khan was awarded the Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian honor, and the country's observed a National Day of Mourning following his death in 2006. So I hope that you have understood the point and you have come across the description of this great personality and legend, my dear children. That is Ustad Bismillah Khan Ji. Now you can see this is called Shehnai, okay, and you may be confused what is this reed. So for you, so a reed is a thin strip of wood. In some musical it is made of long grass, fine. So musical instruments such as the clarinet or oboe that produces sound when air is blown over it. So if you have seen a flute, so you'll come to know what it is, okay. Thank you children, hope you have understood the chapter. And I'll be back soon with my next video on grammar. Till then, bye-bye and take care of yourselves. Thank you.